Thanks again for joining us here on the Comic Culture Warrior YouTube channel. I'm Elliott Jose, and this is Jose Melendez, and yet again, we're here for another series of conversations about comics. And I always forget to put this disclaimer at the beginning of the videos, but the opinions stated here do not reflect those of Dreamland Comics, just Jose's and myself. So whenever we get on these little ragging jags, we don't want to get Dreamland Comics in any sort of hot water. They are nice enough to let us be here and basically use this this setting. So got a lot of responses on the last series of segments of the first series of our new season, and we wanted to jump into those because you guys took the time to make those comments. So hey, and I did respond to a bunch of them on the YouTube channel, but I don't know, Jose, were there any here that you really liked that impressed you?
I don't know. Overall, I thought that I think all of the comments of that people made about writers that they like, I think like every single one that people recommended were all writers that I like. So it's good to see that there are people out there who have very good taste. Of discerning taste, yes. So no, there's like not one writer on there that I saw that that I didn't agree that isn't a great writer. And like there's just some of my favorite writers that you guys are probably... Actually, Jonathan Hickman was the only person that wasn't on that list that right. I would... But a lot of people, like Crystal Skage and Matt Fraction, Rick Remender, let's see, who else? Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns, yeah.
I mean, those are all really solid writers. And it's good to see that nobody put Jeff Loeb.
No.
Or Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis,
nobody put Bendis for Loeb, which is very... good to see.
And if anything, Loeb got a few shots, took a few shots, which I found myself almost defending him at one point. I know, but it's like, you know, in the interest of fairness, I mean, Jeff Loeb is okay. It's a matter of opinion, but Jeff Loeb is considered to be one of the better writers. His books sell a lot, and ours is a minority opinion. But yeah, his stuff lately has not been at the par that I would have expected from him. Just like Mark Miller's stuff right now is nowhere near at the par that I would expect from him. Although there are some people who are really enjoying his Fantastic Four run, which, mind you, I really had high hopes for, and I've just dropped the book.
Yeah, I didn't really care too much for it at all.
And a name that took me by surprise, and I actually forgot that this guy, I forgot that you can consider him a comic writer, Mike Mignola.
Yeah, well, Mignola is still writing and or co-writing all of his books.
The Hellboy stuff,
yeah, and the BPRD. I mean, he's still out there doing stuff, and yeah, I really don't consider him a writer either, but yeah, when someone put that, I'm like, well, it's right, because he basically is a writer now.
Yeah.
Because he did like that. There's a one Hellboy comic that he did that came out last month, and it was like the first Hellboy in years.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, he is considered more a writer now, and I do have to agree with that. That all his stuff on all his books that he created is all solid stuff. So
yeah, and also goes. It's back to what Jose said. I was kind of impressed with the level of discernment that was with our viewership, because quite frankly, I look at some of the other comic book commentary channels on YouTube, and when you look under the comments there, you get into this whole, half the time it's a bunch of flame wars, it's about a bunch of people ragging on each other, making jokes, and just being all around juvenile. And I appreciate that the commentary on our page is pretty, they stay on topic, and people are very respectful. One person who stood out to me, though, because again, we talk about female readers in comics. We had a viewer by the name of a screen name of Seraphim, who said that I'm a 40-year-old woman and I'm sick of the changes at Marvel that turn villains into women. The focus on evil women or killing women in such violent ways within the past year has become so ridiculous that I'm seriously thinking of letting my subscriptions run out, which they do in the next few months, If the reasoning is that they're giving women equal time, then they don't have to push it all at once. And I agree. Yeah. And I know that's probably going to be one of the justifications that is given in the creative process. That, well, the kind of stuff that happens in comics happens to male characters all the time, and you don't hear about it as much. You don't hear, again, outrage behind it. But when it happens to women, it's basically we're trying to put them on an equal footing.
Right, but my thoughts on that is that it's not like it's happening all over comics.
Right.
There's one writer in particular.
You're right.
And that's what we are talking about.
Absolutely, yes.
Like, yeah, if it is equal time and there's tons of bad shit happening to guy characters, yeah, that's fine. Bad things happen to the characters regardless of gender. But when there's one writer out there who is pretty much making it a point for nothing really bad to ever happen to his male characters, and the worst of the worst happens to all of his female characters, yeah, then that's the problem. And someone did bring up that, one of the comments said that it is kind of weird that Brian Michael Bendis is doing this to his female characters in his Avengers books, because in Powers,
right,
the female lead in Powers is nothing like that. And here's my take on it. Powers is a book that he created. Okay, so I think he respects his own creations a hell of a lot more than he respects the creations of other writers and artists that he's using their creations, and I don't think he has such a vested interest in. You can tell who Brian Michael Bendis has a vested interest in his books. Luke Cage.
He loves
Luke Cage. Big boner for Luke Cage. Yeah,
he loves Luke Cage.
And Bill 70 in Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
You can tell who he really likes by how he writes them.
Right.
And he only really likes a couple of characters, I think, and treats those characters respectfully in his books, but everybody else, it doesn't really matter. And I think that's what it comes down to, is that, but still, it's...
Dina in Powers, though, has not been having a really smooth ride as of late, because if you're reading Powers, Dina was infected with the Powers virus, went nuts, kind of went insane, killed a bunch of people, had the police coming after her, and the whole story resolved itself with her getting $1 million payoff by the city, told basically go away and don't ever be seen again. So that was kind of a bittersweet end to the whole Powers thing, and Dina being actually a great character. I don't know what Bendis is going to do with her next, but it seems like she's kind of done.
Yeah, and I mean, and it is kind of weird. Again, like you go back to another creation of Bendis's, Jinx.
Jinx, right?
I mean, an Alias, Jessica, like
Jessica Jones,
like another creation of his that gets treated respectfully in his book because he created it.
Right.
So,
well, Jessica, if we'll close this segment on this. If Bendis has pretty much said that Jessica Jones is kind of his expression in the Marvel Universe, so that kind of means
so he's
that...
going to have her beating women in every issue now?
No, it just means that Bendis kind of would like to get a boner up the butt from Luke Cage. I mean, that's how much he loves him.
I didn't think about that, but that is true. He wants to marry and have Luke Cage's baby.
Baby, pretty much. It's really obvious that Bendis loves Luke Cage. I tease, I really wish he had that same sort of affection for Hector Ayala, who was one of my favorite characters. The original White Tiger, who Bendis managed to shoot and kill in a most ignominious manner on the courthouse steps. And, well, I guess that was something bad that happened to a male character.
Yeah,
although a minority character.
Well, a minority, there you go.
Yeah, one of the few...
but how long ago did that
The only Puerto Rican superhero, too.
Yeah.
Kind of pissed me off.
Shit happens, man.
Shit happens. All right. Well, thanks for your comments, folks, and we always appreciate them, and we think that you guys have proven that we have some of the smartest viewers on YouTube. So we're going to end this segment on that, and we hope we see you in the next.